The Holistic Revolution, Transforming Mind, Body, and Spirit. When I had the privilege of interviewing Maria Redman recently, I was struck by something profound. In a world obsessed with quick fixes and surface level transformations, Maria embodies a revolutionary approach to wellness that transcends the ordinary. Her impact on making the world healthier extends far beyond physical fitness. She's pioneering a movement that honors the intricate connection between mental clarity, physical strength, and emotional resilience. Maria isn't just another wellness influencer. She's a visionary who understands that true health requires addressing the whole person. Her work has transformed countless lives, creating ripples of healing that extend far beyond her immediate circle. Today, I want to share the wisdom gleaned from our conversation because what Maria has discovered might just change your life as it has for countless others. Have you ever noticed how we tend to compartmentalize our health? We treat our bodies as separate from our minds, our emotions as disconnected from our physical well being. We visit different specialists for different parts of ourselves, rarely considering how deeply intertwined these aspects truly are. It's rather like trying to fix a car by only addressing the engine while ignoring that the transmission is failing and the steering wheel is coming loose. Not the most effective approach, is it? This fragmented approach is precisely why so many transformation journeys fail. We focus intensely on changing our bodies while neglecting our minds, or we work on our mental health while ignoring the physical vessel that carries us through life. It's like trying to renovate a house by only painting the living room while the foundation crumbles beneath you. Sooner or later, reality catches up. This is the first revelation from my conversation with Maria Redman. Transformation is holistic. Real, lasting change happens when we address our mental, physical, and emotional health simultaneously. It's not just about changing your body, it's about reconnecting with your true self and purpose. And here's the thing about holistic transformation it is not more complicated, it's actually more efficient. When you honor the connections between mind, body, and spirit, they begin to work together rather than against each other. Consider the story of Maria Chapman, a woman whose journey exemplifies this holistic approach. After being medically retired due to rare neuromuscular conditions, Maria faced a crisis that threatened both her identity and livelihood. For someone whose sense of self was deeply connected to physical strength and activity, this diagnosis could have been devastating. Actually, let's be honest, it was devastating. But devastation wasn't where her story ended. Instead of surrendering to limitation, Maria maintained her commitment to physical strength. Even when confined to a chair, she continued lifting weights, starting with just 1 pound dumbbells when necessary. 1 pound. Can you imagine the mental fortitude required to start there when you've been accustomed to much more? She meticulously researched her condition and adapted that knowledge into a personalized workout program. Her physicians were skeptical, but Maria understood something they didn't. Her body and mind were not separate entities, but parts of an integrated whole. What's remarkable isn't just her physical perseverance, though that alone is inspiring. It's how this physical discipline supported her mental resilience and emotional well being, creating a foundation from which she could rebuild her entire life. Today, Maria Chapman has founded Connected Ghostwriting and serves as an advocate for disabled entrepreneurs, helping others find their path to success despite physical limitations. Her story illustrates something powerful. When we honor one aspect of our health, we create ripple effects that transform every dimension of our lives. The physical discipline became mental fortitude. The mental fortitude fostered emotional resilience, and that emotional resilience allowed her to discover new purpose and meaning. None of this would have happened if she had addressed only one aspect of her health in isolation. This brings me to the second key insight from Maria Redman. Prioritizing yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. In a culture that often glorifies burnout and self sacrifice, this message feels almost revolutionary. But the truth is, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot serve your purpose, your community, or your loved ones if you're depleted. It's like trying to water a garden with an empty watering can. A lot of motion, but not much growth. Self care isn't a luxury. It's not something to indulge in occasionally when you've checked everything else off your to do list. It's the foundation that enables you to show up fully in all areas of your life. And yet, how many of us put ourselves last day after day, wondering why we feel increasingly disconnected from our purpose and passion? We see this principle illustrated in another story I discovered during my research. A social media creator known as Maria documented her journey recovering from extreme dieting practices and the immense pressure to achieve a summer body. Like many, she had fallen into the trap of pursuing an idealized body image at the expense of her mental health. The turning point came when she recognized that her worth wasn't determined by her appearance. She shifted her focus from aesthetic goals to mental health priorities, adopting a more balanced approach to nutrition and fitness. This wasn't about abandoning physical health. It was about reframing it within a larger context of overall well being. What's particularly powerful about her journey is how she transformed her relationship with food and exercise. Rather than seeing them as tools for punishment or reward, she began to view them as forms of nourishment and celebration. Food became fuel for her body and joy for her soul. Exercise became a way to honor her strength and resilience, not a penalty for eating. Through sharing her story on TikTok, she's created a supportive community for others recovering from disordered eating patterns and body image issues. Her journey reminds us that prioritizing our whole selves, including our mental and emotional needs, isn't selfish. It's transformative, not just for us, but potentially for everyone we touch. As Audre Lorde, the brilliant poet and civil rights activist, once said, caring for myself is not self indulgence, it is self preservation. And that is an act of political warfare. This quote resonates deeply with the mission of platforms like the Pink Parachute Diaries, which celebrates and uplifts Black women who are making waves in their respective fields. In a world where talented Black women are often handed pink slips, while underperforming men receive golden parachutes, prioritizing your well being becomes an act of resistance and empowerment. The third insight from my conversation with Maria Redman might be the most liberating of all: consistency trumps perfection. The journey to better health isn't about dramatic changes or perfect execution. It's about making sustainable choices daily that align with your values and goals, even when progress seems slow. It's showing up for yourself day after day, even when, especially when you don't feel like it. We live in a culture obsessed with overnight success stories and dramatic before and after transformations. But real change rarely happens that way. It's built through small, consistent actions taken day after day, even when, especially when no one is watching. It's the workout you do when you don't feel like it, the nutritious meal you prepare when takeout would be easier, the boundary you maintain when it would be simpler to give in. This principle is beautifully illustrated by Maria, a certified health, nutrition, and fitness coach who demonstrates how physical activity serves as a form of therapy and self care. In today's high stress environment, Many struggle with mental clarity and immune function, often neglecting the connection between physical activity and mental well being. Maria promotes gym dates and regular exercise not as punishments for eating or paths to physical perfection, but as natural ways to boost endorphins and improve overall health. Her approach has led to strengthened immunity and mental clarity for herself and her clients. What's powerful about her message is the emphasis on consistency over intensity. You don't need to transform your entire life overnight. You don't need to become a different person by Monday morning. You simply need to take one small step, then another, then another. It's like planting a garden. You don't expect seeds to become flowers overnight. You water them consistently, provide sunlight consistently, and trust the process. As Maria discovered through her own transformation journey, the therapeutic benefits of consistent physical activity extend far beyond physical appearance. Movement becomes medicine for the mind. Regular nutrition becomes fuel for emotional stability. Small daily practices become the building blocks of profound transformation. This approach is particularly important for those navigating challenging professional environments. The Pink Parachute Diaries podcast fearlessly tackles the realities of the challenges Black women encounter in corporate America, offering strategies for success in all areas of life, work, and business. In these contexts, the pressure to be perfect, to never show weakness or vulnerability, can be overwhelming. But perfection is an impossible standard that keeps us small and afraid. Consistency, on the other hand, builds momentum that can carry us through obstacles and setbacks. It's about progress, not perfection. It's about showing up for yourself, even when that showing up is messy and imperfect. So, what does this mean for you? How can you apply these insights to your own life? Based on my conversation with Maria Redman, I'd like to offer three action steps that could begin your own holistic transformation journey. First, start with one small daily practice that honors your physical, mental, and emotional health. This could be a 10-minute workout, a mindfulness practice, or preparing one nutritious meal. The specific action matters less than the intention behind it. To treat yourself as a whole person worthy of care and attention. Second, identify and eliminate one habit that's keeping you from showing up as your best self. This might be negative self talk, comparison on social media, or a relationship that drains your energy. Often, making space is just as important as adding new practices. Third, create accountability by sharing your journey with someone you trust or joining a community of like minded individuals who can support your transformation. As the Pink Parachute Diaries reminds us, together we can create a world where accomplishments are celebrated and potential is unleashed. We are not meant to transform alone. I want to leave you with this. The revolution we need most desperately isn't happening in politics or technology, it's happening within us. It's the quiet revolution of people reclaiming their wholeness in a fragmented world. It's the bold declaration that we are more than our productivity, more than our appearance, more than our accomplishments. This revolution begins with a single act of courage, the courage to honor your whole self when the world encourages fragmentation, the courage to prioritize your well being when burnout is glorified, the courage to value consistency over perfection when overnight transformations dominate our feeds. What if your transformation journey became a beacon for others? What if your commitment to holistic well being created ripples that transformed your family, your community, your workplace? What if the simple act of honoring your whole self became the most revolutionary act of all? I challenge you today. Choose one small act of holistic self care. not tomorrow, not when you have more time or resources, but today, right now, in this moment. And then do it again tomorrow and the next day. And watch as these small acts of consistency transform not just your body, not just your mind, not just your spirit, but your entire life. The revolution is waiting, and it begins with you.